Oh yeah, got to.
Style, man. So, dive right in. Lord, thank you for another day. Thank you for life and health and strength.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you for, just continuing to pave the way for the Black Men Ventu brand. We do a lot with our brand, Lord. We got the podcast. We got our financial education service. We got the merch, that fans and supporters have helped us with, Lord. Help us to continue to grow these branches of our tree. Help us to continue to meet different people that seek out the vision that we have. And then just help us to continue to bring great men onto the show to come. And then we have one today. My good friend Darius, thankful for our brotherhood. I know we may not talk every day, but every time we link up, it's a party. So I just thank God for Darius, and I thank you for his spirit. He's always been a humble brother, and continue to bless him in his endeavors. He's a newly married brother. So anything and everything that goes on in a healthy marriage, Lord, I ask that he obtains those assets. All right. We back, man. We back, guys. Super excited, man. Another week, man. The weeks are going by fast, but just be sure to know that the Black Men Ventu podcast every week that you alive, every week, we gonna be dropping an episode, man. So, good morning to the ladies. Good morning to the brothers. Excited to have a new guest on our show this week. Our YouTube channel. Throw the deuces up to the YouTube channel, man. We got some subscribers, man. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys. We got a lot planned, a lot of great guests in store. Make sure y'all tap in, man, and hit that subscribe button somewhere on this screen. Hit that subscribe button. With that being said, man, super excited to be a part of you guys' new week, man. We are your favorite father and son podcast in Nashville, man. The only podcast that gives you a radio show feeling with a podcast undertone. We do commercials. We do Black News Weekly. We do advertisements. Tap in with us, man. We are the Black Men Ventu podcast, man. Let's get into it. Guys, got a great episode for today, man. Got a great guest for today. Man, I don't know where to start with my boy D, man. I don't even remember how we met. But regardless of the fact, man, this brother, man, has been a true good friend of mine, man, and it has grown into a brotherhood. We've had many conversations, man, that we were just joking about it off the mic. If we would have put a recorder to those conversations, man, we'd be about 20 episodes in.
We would be, man.
For sure. Presenting the some, introducing the others, Parkwood Baby. My good friend, Mr. Darius Horton. Big dog, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing, brother?
Man, we good, man. All smiles, man. Just excited, man, to have you on our show. Excited to have you on the show, man. Again, let's just get into the conversation, man. Diving in, first things first, man. I kind of gave you your hood up, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Parkwood, baby.
What part of Parkwood?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, get into what part of Parkwood you're from, man. Let's talk about the schools that you brought up in, man, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, man. Speaking of my upbringing, I would say this. I am from Parkwood, but I was born and raised in Inglewood.
Okay.
Which for some people it's like the 10-minute drive.
Yeah.
It's all East Nashville.
Right.
We still out east.
That's it.
But yeah, that's actually an interesting story I do want to express to y'all. So, there's a different story I'm the youngest of all three of us collectively. Me, I have a brother and I have a sister. So my brother was born. My mama only made it to the hospital with one of her kids, and I was born on Litton Avenue out in South Inglewood.
Litton, yeah.
So I was born out east.
Smack dead on Litton Avenue.
Like between all the hood streets.
So when I tell people I'm from out east, look, my mama didn't make it to a hospital.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was born in my uncle's house off Litton Avenue.
Wow.
And I think my mom said my brother was born. She couldn't make it. I think she went into labor at a bank, but she did end up making it. And I think my sister was the only one that was actually prepared him going to the hospital. So yeah, that's pretty an interesting story. But I was grew up in Litton Apartments, right off Litton Avenue again. So I lived.
I'm laughing because I remember Litton Apartments, man. You survived Litton Apartments. You done seen some stuff.
I've seen a whole bunch of stuff, man.
You seen some things, man.
Yeah, we lived in E Building 142. I remember.
Wow.
Wait a minute, 142.
This episode is 143.
All right.
I think it was E42 or something. It was, but something like that. But, yeah, that was crazy. But
man,
yeah, so I lived there from 95 until 2003, and then that's when we moved to Parkwood.
Gotcha.
So still East Nashville.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Parkwood, where you got your roots at, I bet.
Man,
really started.
Yeah. I did grow up in Parkwood, and you know, had like we talked about TJ a couple minutes ago. A lot of my other friends,
TJ,
a lot of my other friends grew up in Parkwood too. But like all my family still lived in South Inglewood. So I like every Friday, Saturday, me and my mom, we go to my auntie house, and you know, the cousins. You have the cousins over. So I was over my cousin's house every weekend, playing the PlayStation 2, Nintendo 64. All of it.
The simple life. The simple life.
He made me feel like I'm old, man. He said PlayStation 2.
Right.
I remember all that, man. He was a young dude. Then I remember playing PlayStation 2 with my sons, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
The good life, man. D-Man, talk about your school upbringing, bro. What schools did you go to in Nashville, man, and how did, you know, those years, man, impact you to be the man you are today?
Wow, that's a good question. So I kind of have a really not interesting story, but I will say it is interesting nonetheless. So in elementary school, I went to Inglewood Elementary School, obviously, because I was born in South Inglewood. So I went to Inglewood Middle School, went to South Inglewood Center, like how everybody in the hood did. And then when we moved, I went to Isaac Litton, which is still in Inglewood. So when my mama did, I'm pretty sure everybody's parent did this. I ain't breaking no rules. But back then, and I don't know if you can still do this today, but you can use like a family member's address.
Oh, yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah.
So
then on the college level and everything.
Exactly. So my mom, she would use either my grandmama or my auntie's address. So every year I still stay zoned for those schools, you know. So I went to Litton from 5th to 8th grade. Loved it. Had a lot of friends and a lot of family that went there. Then I went to 3 separate high schools, which is a crazy story. So for about, I would say from August to maybe the beginning to the end of August, I don't know if you got heard of that school, Republic High School. It's right off Brick Church Park. Right where the old Smith and Craig is. So for a short period of time, they opened up a school. It was called, it was just called, I think Smith and Craig or something. I can't remember like the full name of it. But I went there for like a month, and it was a charter private school. So I went there for a month, but you know me, like sports is my thing. I was like, I need to touch some grass. I need to put on a football helmet or something. So they didn't have any sports because the school was brand new.
Right.
So then my mom transferred me to, well, not transferred me, but she used our real address. So then I went to Hunters Lane. And I went to Hunters Lane from 9th through 10th grade. And then that's when like the whole, I'm pretty sure you remember when at Hunters Lane they had the whole big water balloon scandal.
We were some wild kids.
We was wild.
I remember.
Man. So I remember 9th, 10th grade, my moms came up to school. She was like, oh no, like this ain't it. And then you know, I ain't trying to disrespect like none of the staff and nothing like that. But then after that, there was another altercation that happened at Hunters Lane. You know me, and like a lot of people know me, I'm really like somebody, like I'm to myself. Real meek, real calm. You know, I tell people it take a grizzly bear to come here to like to make me mad or something.
For sure.
But one day, at Hunters Lane, there was one lunch. One lunch, everybody go to lunch at the same time. So at lunch, man, I was with my friend Brandon and my friend Dominic. And my friend Dominic had ran off to play with play with like one of his friends, or like whatever. And man, so I'm sitting here with my homeboy Brandon, and there was a female like right next to him or something like that. So we all just chilling, hanging out, chopping it up. And then man, like out of nowhere, like I see a bottle coming, and it hits me. So I'm just like, I'm chilling, you know, minding my business, and then I get hit in the face with like a Sprite bottle, and then I get mad because I'm just like, I'm not doing nothing to nobody. Like nobody got beef towards me. So man, like, I got mad. I took my jacket off, and I was like, who threw the bottle? Who threw the bottle at me? And then, man, one of my football players, actually, one of my former teammates, man, he threw a bottle at me, unfortunately. And then we did get to, fighting, and all this stuff.
That Parkwood came
Yeah, yeah. South Inglewood, Parkwood, all of it,
came out. See, I was sitting while he was talking, I'm like, man, he come from Lytton. But he's so mild-mannered, man. When did he ever have to throw them hands, man? You just answered my question.
Look, man, I appreciate, definitely growing up in Lytton Apartments.
You got to throw them hands, man, over there,
You got to. So, look, hey, I saved it for the right moment.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, man, so my mom, knowing who I am as a kid, right, and she was like, no, that's it. So then, following that year, I had to do twilight school at Hunters Lane and finish out my semester. So following that year, I had transferred. My mom did the same thing, back to East Nashville, and I went to Stratford.
Gotcha.
And my mom knew at Stratford everything was gonna be fine because all my family up there.
Right.
I got cousins up there. She was like, "Look, if somebody gonna touch him, they gonna have to deal with the whole clan." You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So and then like all my friends from middle school was there. She knew it would be a better place for me.
Right.
So yeah, and that's how I went there, and I do want to give a big shout out to the top floor program at Martha O'Brien, because without them, I would not have gone to school debt free for MTSU. So
explain that, man. What you call the program? The who? The top floor.
The top floor program. So
is that a guy's name, Floyd, or that?
So
how did that name come about?
Yeah, so the top floor program is sponsored by the Martha O'Brien Center, which is a nonprofit.
Okay.
Yeah, and the top floor is basically during or after school, like Stratford had like a top floor that was never used. So Martha O'Brien, they made a floor called top floor, and that there was do like college preparation programs, ACT study.
Wow, that's good.
And I remember there were some days after football, track practice, I stayed up there till 8 o'clock doing scholarships, doing all of this stuff, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, and to this day, it helped me leave school debt free, man, and I will forever be indebted for Martha O'Brien and the top
Shout out to
program.
Martha O'Brien. Yeah, man. Debt free, college degree,
man.
debt free. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Very nice.
It is.
Nice, man. Well, man, as we transition, man, Pops, there is a reason why, I told him we was going to talk about it. There's a reason why he has this Michigan hoodie on.
Look, I saw that, man. I didn't want to get into that, but since we into it now, what do you know about Michigan? You got some kinfolks in Michigan, or you just want to diss you want to diss everybody else and just be a Michigan fan since you're in the South. Yeah. You know you're in the South.
I see his
Oh man, this is hilarious. So I would say this. If I'm not rooting for Michigan, I am rooting for the Volunteers. I'm sorry again.
Yeah.
Because
we ain't worried about them. We ain't worried about none of them. They threw us out of the tournament this year because they didn't want them dogs up in there.
That's true. Hey man, look, you right. But I would say this, y'all. This is the weirdest, crazy about how I became a fan. I've been somebody who I love like jerseys and uniforms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I remember when we moved to Parkwood. My neighbor across the street, Salt and Pep, basically is their name. That's a nickname, so we just call them Salt and Pep. Salt and Pep. Yep. So in like the 6th, 7th grade, they would take me. They'd pick me up every Friday, and we'd go to like the Hillsborough High School football game.
Okay, cool.
And this was the year that Hillsborough won it all in 09, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha.
So I was a fan of Hillsborough at that point. If I wasn't rooting for Stratford, because my cousin did play football for Stratford, but every Friday, I would go to a Hillsborough football game. At that time, Hillsborough had the winged helmet. So then, Okay. And I was like, well, Hillsborough was good at the time, you know what I'm saying? So I turned on the TV, like a year or two later, and then I see.
You saw it.
Yep.
Saw it.
At noon, at NBC at noon, every Saturday.
Yeah.
Michigan comes running out the tunnel. Here comes Denard Robinson with no shoelaces on, running 90 yards. I was like, I'm sold.
They're my boy, all right?
They're my boys right there.
Hey, man, at you, man. Hey, man.
That's funny. That's funny. When Michigan won it out, man, I was telling you, he was the first person I thought of. He been a fan ever since I've been knowing him.
True blue fan.
A decade beyond. He's been a fan ever since I've been knowing him, man. So I had to get that piece of the conversation in there, man. Like, how did you become a Michigan fan?
It is so hard, and it's through uniforms in high school. That's how it happened. I've always loved that wing helmet, and ever since then, I just became a
It just
fan.
stuck.
Wow.
It just
Yep.
stuck. That's funny, man.
It
That's
is.
funny. Man, gotta talk about, man, your newfound life, man, with marriage, dude. I'm one to say, man, that, you know, I still believe black love is real, you know, and just to give you your flowers, you and your wife, shout out to Miss Annie.
Yeah, shout out to the missus, man.
Y'all are doing the thing, man. I feel like I walked through y'all's whole relationship on Facebook, but from the time y'all got together, man, the engagement, the marriage, the pictures, I just enjoy, man, black love in our generation. You know, so man, how did you guys meet, man? Was it a love at first sight thing, or was it Tinder or the black app? Like, what you gotta let us know, man. What's going on, man? How did y'all become the beautiful relationship that y'all are today?
Man, she gonna kill me. But man, so what's crazy? I mean, I told y'all 9th and 10th grade with the Hunters Lane. So at Hunters Lane, right? I would see this girl walking down like the hallway. It was like a movie where it's like you see that girl walking down the hallway and everybody else blurred
Everything
out.
stopped.
Yeah. Man,
It was
He
like
said
a
it was like a
movie.
movie.
Like,
Yeah.
and then like she had like this long black hair. I can see it right now.
He tripped me out. 'Cause I'm seeing the movie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. See,
I'm in it too.
you in the movie too. Yeah, see. So I remember Hunters Lane had that one big hallway, and if anybody know what I'm talking about, it's like it's from the cafeteria going down to the library. I see this girl with long black hair walking every day, and I just be like, man, she is beautiful, boy. Let me tell you. Now the thing is though, y'all, is that I was shy.
Yeah.
I ain't peeped not one word to this girl. So turned out, man. So you know, obviously I ended up transferring all that, so I ain't see her no more after that.
Right.
So fast forward, man. 2018. That's when like I got Tinder, like you just mentioned. Yeah, got Tinder, start swiping, and said I matched with a girl named Abby. Oh, okay, cool.
Wow, I was
Come
just
on,
talking
are you
stuff, but that's
serious?
funny. I was just
Wait
talking
a minute now. Come on, wait a
That's
minute.
hilarious.
So the
Yeah.
girl walking down the hall, you went to the app and it hooked y'all up.
Right.
Right, but the thing is though, I was a freshman in 2010. So I saw Abby in like 2010, 2011. Tinder wasn't even around yet.
Right.
So when I got to college and graduated in 2018, I was single at the moment. So I was like, well, let me
Did
see.
y'all not see each other through that gap? Because, like you said, y'all have been knowing each other since 2010, or you know, haven't known each other a little bit. Then there was a gap, and then Tinder app. So what was going on during the gap? Did you guys ever cross paths at all? Or?
I would like to think that we did, but no, we never did. We never spoke.
Wow.
Yeah, we never we literally like never ever spoke. It wasn't nothing. It's just because, like I said, I was shy. So whenever I transferred to Stratford, she was still at Hunters Lane. I didn't know her name or anything like that.
Sure.
And what's crazy is though, I never thought about this, but like I had a yearbook. I could have looked up on Facebook or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I wouldn't think it. So
Yeah.
So you know, fast forward to 2018, we ended up matching. What's crazy is though, it's like we never talked about anything romantic from like 2018 to like 2019. What we would do is, and I don't know if this is dating advice for anybody, but what we would do is that we would just like send each other funny videos like on Facebook Messenger. We would do that like all day, and we, you know, that's how we became cool. We became friends.
Became friends. That's still the formula. That's still the formula.
It's tried and true. Yep. So we would just send each other funny videos all the time. And then I never forget. So New Year's going into 2020, and y'all, this how I know this year 2020 was finna be messed up. It's because she was supposed to meet me that night.
Okay.
And then she stood me up.
Uh-oh. He put it on record.
I mean, you know what I'm saying, everybody knows the story, but But I do, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, so what happened is that after that, we just, you know, like we just decided to, you know, just still be friends. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like,
take a step back,
because that was the thing. Is just like I was like, I ain't in a relationship with the girl, so I can't be mad.
Right.
So that was the thing. So I was like, oh, okay. So the thing is that, you know, after that, you know, we decided to, you know, be friends again, but then we decided to take it more serious.
For sure.
So then we ended up in a relationship after that, because we already had the friendship, like how I discussed. We had the friendship for sure.
Right.
And that was, like I said, it's the foundation of everything.
Yes, without a doubt, man. Hey, man. it worked for me. I've been in for 28 years. That's how it started out.
Yeah.
We became friends, man, and we were good friends. And we were friends before, we were, tinkering around a little bit. But at the end of the day, we were friends. And the more we hung around each other, the more we became, to the point we fell in love. But it started out with that same formula. You gotta be friends first, man. I think that's something that if nobody gets anything else off this podcast, you want to learn how to be with somebody, be in a fruitful relationship, learn how to be friends first before the bed. I'm gonna leave it like that.
Hey, mic drop. Like I said, it's tried and true, man. It never fails.
Yeah. It's just, again, man, I think, and it's just a question I can ask you, man. What do you think about just how social media has made a gender war out of the world? You know what I mean? It's to a point now where all these podcasts, are you getting on there, man, saying anything and everything. The black man is bashing the black woman. The black woman is bashing the black man. And then it's just so much going on that is causing a divide, to where marriage percentages have gone down in the black community and stuff like this. So what can you say, man, just about how, you naturally being married but still being a part of the social media app, if you will, how important is it to be able to navigate, be able to balance the two and still make sure, man, that you holding true to, those vows and stuff like that?
So you mean like just like the social media aspect of it, right?
It's such a big influence, So how do you balance it in your own marriage, and what advice would you give to others, man, that may be having some complications in their marriage or relationship based off social media?
Yeah. So I always tell like all my friends and stuff like this, I always say, and y'all have like the reason why I did want to come on here, and I told you this earlier, I was like, man, y'all give a great space for people to talk about it. And I feel like some people who have platforms abuse podcasting platforms.
Absolutely.
And I feel like,
absolutely.
and I feel like that is what turns relationships toxic. Is because now you're getting people with all of these really I ain't gonna say bad information, but they're spitting out stuff that's based in anecdotal evidences. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Just because you had one thing happen to you doesn't mean your next relationship is gonna happen like that.
Absolutely, man. So true. So true. Absolutely.
So I feel like social media, and I know people have goals, relationship goals. I just say just be yourself, have your own goals. And that's what me and Abby focus on. We have our own goals. And if we do, share it on social media, and we decide that, hey, we don't do this. We do this because, we don't do this to try to boost up, our morale and try to feel good. We just want to, how you said, show people that, having black love is beautiful. And that it is possible to have.
Possible. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
I don't want nobody to feel like, we just doing this for the gram or... Nah, it's nothing like that, so...
Because, that's the influence you're seeing now, man. Everybody's, walking into relationships, man, just to be doing it, for the likes, the clickbait.
Yeah.
That 100%, stuff, man. It's not intention put behind who I really want to spend the rest of my life with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and like how you said, I see a lot of Instagram accounts and people who are in relationships, post some of the most egregious things, and I be like, are y'all in a relationship? And the thing is, I feel like for me, and I feel like for people who want to be a part of marriage, to me, I know there's things that work for certain people, but I feel like there has to be a respect factor to it too.
Yes.
I'm not going to be on social media, but I'm liking every post that this other girl posts up.
Yeah, I know you're
because
right,
at that point, I make my wife look stupid.
Yeah.
Because if my wife has an insecurity, right, and I'm liking a girl who's this Victoria's Secret model, and she has all of this plastic surgery and all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But but that's showing my wife. That's showing my wife who has a natural body, natural face. You know what I'm saying? That's showing my wife that if I like, a post or something like that has, something that's not respectable to you.
Absolutely.
Then I feel like I'm not respecting my wife at that point. Because I'm praising and liking this other female who's, like nakedly clad, you know, on these platforms, and I just for me, like I just don't think that's a good thing to do.
That's wise, brother. You know, them brothers need to be doing it also. Who's not doing? If they liking something and it's competing with their wife in any kind of way, then yeah, you don't need to be liking that, man. You, if you look, that's you. But I'm just saying, don't get to the point because see what that'll do. Like you said, if she has any insecurities, that's gonna bring that out, man. It's gonna come out full force. I'm gonna tell you what. When we talk about social media, man, you just gotta be careful of the stuff you watch too, and you allow to come into your tabula rasa, your brain, man. Because I'm just sitting here thinking about it. When I was younger, man, I used to look at soap operas when I first came to TSU. I looked at soap operas, man. And the only reason I did it because I'm caught up like everybody else in the drama. And now that I think about it, man, every show that's on TV that's popular is drama.
Yes.
Some going back and forth between men and women. All the Tyler Perry stuff is drama. Tyler, I love you, man, but I don't look at your stuff no more, dog. Because it's too much, man. It's always some men sleeping with me, different women, whatever, and the relationship is good, and all of a sudden, here come the drama. And the more the drama get, the more he ratchet up, and then he got a lot of ratchet show. I'm sorry, dog. Look, this is an opinionated podcast. That's my opinion.
Definitely.
It's an opinionated podcast. Don't nobody hold us to no facts on some stuff. If you're gonna host the fact, then we're gonna get on this when we disclose the facts.
Right.
But my opinion is I can't keep watching that, man, because
it can take you.
Yo, man, do something to you, man. So if it's doing me like that, and I'm 59 going on 100, you know what I'm saying? And if it's doing me like that, what does it do to a young mind that ain't never been in a relationship, never had a girlfriend, boyfriend, and you see this stuff, you thinking, well, that's what you supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's how you do them.
Yeah.
No, that ain't how you do them. You know what I'm saying? So man, you just have to be careful what you allow to come into your space, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a debate, man, I was finna say, you know, on social media where they were saying, you know, that Tyler Perry basically got his fame off of black, you know, drama.
Exploitation, man. Yeah, man.
Really, it's great movies. I'm be honest, man. Great storylines, and I don't want to, you know, like you said, opinionated based.
Yeah, and I'm not bashing. I'm just talking about that's me.
Yeah,
I'm talking about I love Tyler, but I'm talking about some of the stuff he got out now, I just can't watch it.
Yeah,
I can't watch it, man, because it's just too much.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna watch that, I might as well stay at home watch the Days of Our Lives and all them other ones. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same stuff.
Yeah. And he just did it. He got it for the black community, which I ain't mad because he got an audience for that now.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if you spend all your life looking at this stuff and it starts to infiltrate your life to the point where you acting it out, you need to leave that alone, man.
Well, some people can't filter watching it and not living what you see. That makes sense. Tyler Perry got some great movies. Acrimony is like one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, man. I love Madea, man.
Yeah, he got some good movies.
And we saying Tyler Perry, but he's not the only one.
Right.
There's a lot of ratchet stuff out there. So he ain't the only one. So again, brother, don't be mad at me. I'm just again my opinion, but it's a lot of ratchet stuff like that that's not helping us. Helping our communities and helping black relationships is not helping because again people are getting their examples off the media. That's where they getting their examples from.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. Man, before we go to a commercial break, man, is there aspirations of children in the future, man? Is that something that's on the mind?
Oh yeah.
Wait as long as you can, but I just want to ask. I just want to see.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's always gonna be those aspirations for sure. But yeah, you know, we always waiting on God's time. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Yeah, so we ain't rushing. So I remember like how you said with TJ, and we gonna travel a little bit. You know, I do have like some. I told you yesterday. I got some really big interviews and stuff I'm doing right now. So
Absolutely.
Trying to
absolutely
knock that out the park.
Hey man, my boy said he got some stuff brewing, man. So man, you know, man, in any way we can support what you're doing.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let us know, man.
Commercial break, man. Let's get into it real quick. We'll dive right into, man, everything that's going on with Darius Horton, man. Excited to have him on our platform, man. But y'all know how we rock, man. In the second half, we get into the mental health conversation of things. And just what's going on in Darius's life. He said he's got some major announcements, man. So hopefully he shares that with our platform. Right after this commercial break, we'll dive right back in. This is the Black Men Vent 2 podcast.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's up, guys? What's up? Peace to the city and peace to the planet. You're listening to the baddest podcast in Nashville, the only podcast that gives you a radio show feeling with a podcast undertone. We are Black Men Vent 2, and we are proud to announce, as you can see, that we have brand ambassadors that are a part of our movement. Yes, guys, Black Men Vent 2 has 5 women and 5 men who have joined us and believe in us just as much as we believe in ourselves. Their job is to make sure that they carry the mission and carry the message of doing what we're trying to do in our city of Nashville, and that is make uncomfortable conversations comfortable, aiming to change the narrative of Black men one episode at a time. We are super excited to introduce to you guys the brand ambassadors of Black Men Vent 2. Stay tuned going into the new year because we got big things planned with our new family. Thank you. We back. Guys, what's up, man? If you guys are just not joining us, as I always say in the second half, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you, man. You gotta tap in, man. We got our good friend, Parkwood Baby, my brother, man, Darius Horton, to our YouTube channel. Deuces up, man.
Deuces
subscribe,
up.
like, comment,
Man,
all
man,
that good
too.
stuff. Your favorite father and son podcast, Nashville,
man.
Tennessee. Make
Yes,
sure y'all
sir.
hit us up, man.
Nashville.
Let's get into it. Man. You guys know how we rock, man. We are a mental health based platform. You know, we may shoot the stuff, man. We laugh, we giggle, but at the end of the day, we bring Black men on the show to come vent about how they've overcome mental health things. And with that being said, Darius, what would you like to vent about today, man, on Black Men Vent 2?
Man, I feel like I came in, man, and I was thinking about just some things. It's really like two things I was thinking about. First off, man, I want to say like I kind of been like thinking, like I've been talking to my wife about it, and now thinking about like growing up as a kid, my mama would call me something that's called like scatterbrain. I don't know if y'all ever heard your parents say that. So basically what that is, like you forget your keys, you leave your wallet, stuff like that.
That's me today.
Me too.
Yeah.
Or it's just like or like some other things, just like your brain just like wander off, and like stuff like that. So for me, I noticed that probably around, I want to say, maybe it was, I don't know if it was like after college or maybe like during college. I noticed it was like hard for me to like I used to like read books, you know what I'm saying, like as a kid, and it wasn't no problem. But I noticed the older I got, I was like, it's kind of getting like more difficult. And I think and now like audio helps me out a lot. But I was talking to my wife about it, and I think, and I'm going to like at least like go to like the doctors and find out. But I think I could, and I don't want to self-diagnose myself, but I was looking at like symptoms of like ADHD. And I never thought about it, but when my mom was calling me that as a kid, like scatterbrain, and she was like, yeah, you know, Darius got a brain. So, but the thing is like, I never really thought about it.
Right.
And when I looked at like some of the, like some of the symptoms, like, for instance, like memory loss. Like for me, like, it's not that like I don't pay attention. It's like, for instance, if I'm like at, let's say like I'm with, like talking with a regular like stranger or somebody at a register or something. And like they tell me something, I'd be like, what? And it's not that I'm not paying attention, it's just like in my brain I feel like there's 10,000 things going on at once. Like there's a song from like 5 years ago going back here. And then there's like, is my mom okay? And then there's like, you know, like, oh, I gotta go to work tomorrow. So there's like 6,000 different things going on in my head. So, I mean, like I said, like I've talked to my wife about it and we're trying to like, you know, trying to help me get like some like help from like a psychiatrist, therapist, something like that. And so that's something that I want to talk about, man, is that, you know, I noticed too working at my last job, that one of my other employees that I did work with, she said her son had it. And now the thing is, I didn't know that there was like a spectrum of like cases of it, you know what I'm saying? They're like mild, severe, and things like that. But I know, like she said, like her son had like severe like ADHD, and I was like, even like some of like the small things that she mentioned that he did, like he was like real erratic. Like me, I'm not. I'm real calm, real cool. You know what I'm saying? So, but I feel like as far as like, you know, my brain would go like, I feel like my brain operates kind of like the same way, which is really crazy. And like I find like sometimes, like if things get, I didn't know this, but a symptom is like if things get too stressful, like you'll try to do something that picks up dopamine in your brain. So like for me, if I get stressed out about anything, like if me and my wife get to like, you know, like every couple argues, you know, so if we get into like a disagreement or something like that, I'll get mad. And I never noticed this, but I'd get up and start cleaning the house. Never noticed that.
Wow.
Until I looked at a lot of like videos and a lot of did a lot of research and stuff like that. And it was just like, well, what your brain's telling you is that like it's too much going on. Like so if I'm like, if we disagreeing about something that happened, you know, last night or whatever, and I'm like, all right, so does this mean she want to break up with me? Does this mean that we can still fix it? Does this mean that, you know, my family's gonna look at me weird if I tell them? You know, so what happens is just like it's too much going on, and I'll get up and I'll just start folding clothes. I'll start doing like the day I do stuff around the house. I'm not saying I don't do it, but like other stuff, like you know, like I just noticed like I just get up and just start doing stuff, man. So yeah, that's something that I've always thought about. Is like something I want to go and see if I have, man. Like you know. Like I said, I don't want to self-diagnose myself with anything. I do want to get a professional's approval before I say anything else like that. So that's something that I did, like one of the things I did want to talk about for sure.
Well, brother,
thank you for sharing that.
For real, because I'm going to say this, man, and he probably can attest to this. Whenever you find out what's going on, let us know. Because I'm going to tell you what, we deal with the same thing, bro. Hey, man, when I was in school, it was just, I'm just listening to you. Because when I was in school, I was an avid reader, man. But as I got older, it became harder to do.
Right.
And I don't know if that was the distractions or what that was. And then when I was in school, I was it was hard for me to focus. Like I would finish my work before anybody else. And then I'd be distracting everybody else. You know, then they put me out the room. You know what I'm saying? But that was the kind of stuff I used to do. And as I got older, it's like hard to focus. So what I have to do now, like if I'm reading a book, I read like 5 or 7 pages, then I have to take a break. 5-10 minute break. Then I come back and read 5 or 7 more. But I can't sit there and just like something. I just read a good novel, man. I'd be loco. I'd be loco if I do that, man. My mind won't allow me to do it. So that proves, man, that there's a lot of people that are dealing with mental health situations and they don't even know it. And they just find ways to cope with it. Because that's what I've done over the years, man. I'm talking about, I've never seen a psychiatrist. Well, you know, we kind of doing some things now as far as family therapy is concerned. But what I'm saying is, growing up, you just dealt with it. Because, you know, in our community, just deal with it. That's what I did. You know what I'm saying? Just deal with it. But now that we living in a society where people like to come out front and you know and be real transparent, which is good. You have to get help for certain things. But hey, man, that what you're dealing with, believe me, we got a little bit of that too, man. I know he do, because he done told me.
Oh,
But one of them things you talk about,
absolutely.
thinking about 100 different things at one time.
Right.
I do it all the time. I've been doing it since we've been sitting here. We doing a podcast, but I've been thinking about what I got to do at work tomorrow, what I did at work, what I'm going to do when I go home. I be all that be going on, man. You know what I'm saying? So don't think, I'm not saying that might not be something there, but I'm just saying don't think it's out of the ordinary, because there's a lot of people that have that stuff going on, man. Seriously.
Yeah, I can attest to that too, man. Pops was talking about it, but I like to say that if I do have ADHD, because I don't want to diagnose myself either, but I'm pretty sure one of the symptoms, if you will, is having them 100 tabs open in your head. And then another one is, ADHD will sometimes, your attention span naturally. You'll be on one subject for 2 minutes, be on another one for 4, go back to that subject you was on for 2 minutes. Then we talking about how the sky blue. Then we're gonna go back to light. So I had to catch myself. I'm like, man, let me center it back in. Let me center it back in, man. And again, we joking about it, man, but there are a lot of people that are suffering. Like you said, there's mild.
It might be like you said, severe, right?
Yeah, so, you really don't want to play with that, man. But I think it's so many misdiagnoses going on right now. That's true. And I think we're not using the most positive and effective ways of coping mechanisms for what we don't know is there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you don't know it's there, you don't know it's there. So all your drugs that you use and your alcohol, all that is only masking what you still don't know is there.
That's right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, man, because you said it, and you say you gotta, you trying to seek some help or whatever, or try to seek some, some guidance or advice or whatever. But I think we have to do, in society, we have to do better in making that type of situation readily available. For if you did one, it should be to the point where you say, okay, I got this problem, and I need somebody to check it out. It ought to be something that popped in your mind right there for a space that you could go. Because if you got to get gas, you're like, okay, I'm going to go down here to the Exxon or to the Mapco. If you got to get groceries, I'm going to go to the Publix or the Kroger. If I got to get my coffee, I'm going to go to Firestone Public, or I'm going to go to the Hood Mechanic. You know what I'm saying? You know where to go to get certain stuff. When you start talking about mental health, you got to start, who help you with stuff like that? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's got to be more of a thing than it is right now if we're going to get our society on track, because again, it's a lot of people in society right now that are dealing with mental health issues that have not been diagnosed. And they don't even know what's going on themselves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's a fact that I just brought up, man, from the CDC. The CDC reported in March of, let me see when this article came out, in 2020, so it's a couple years old. March of 2020 of that year, found overall 14% of children ages 3 to 17 have been diagnosed with either ADHD or learning disability, including 17% of black children, 15% of white children, and 12% of Hispanic children. Notice who's leading the category culturally. It goes without saying, man. You get a scratch on your knee, to go grab a Band-Aid. But if your brain been scratched up, who you going?
Who you go to?
What do you do in that moment, man? And just to tailor a question to you, man. What do you do naturally, deep, when depression hits, anxiety hits, those tabs, man? Make more tabs, if you will. How do you center yourself in, man? I know you said that you do certain things to cope, man. But what would be your advice to someone else, man, that has dealt with what you're dealing with and just trying to navigate those emotions?
Yeah, so when it comes to having those type of tabs open up 1,000 times, so I remember, I would say I remember when I had first started reaching out for therapy, right? And I do want to emphasize this. I feel don't go with the first therapist that you see. You gotta find somebody that works for you. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Yeah. And I learned that, but not to say that the first therapist I had was a bad therapist. I just feel like we didn't
right fit.
Just wasn't the right fit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, right, the thing that I remember the most from my first therapist, she was like, "Hey, if you get hyper stressed," she said, "just stop everything and just count to 5." and your brain will just stop and just focus on counting the 5.
Come on, man. I've been look. See, I'm telling you what, it's funny how, like you say, you don't self-diagnose. But one of the things I do is breathing. If it gets to the point where I feel like I'm just overwhelmed, I take a deep breath and blow it out slowly.
Yeah.
Like counting 1,001, 1,000. Believe it or not, y'all might, I'm no doctor, but that helps.
It helps.
It helps, man. I'm telling you, it helps, man.
It helps.
It helps, man. Yes.
Yeah, that's something that really helped me. Is just like, all right, like if I'm getting like overwhelmed, all right, 1, 2, and then like, all right, then you start like slowing down and all that stuff. So yeah, that helps, man. And man, I would say also too some other things that I did. I do have a therapist that I do go to. So you know, like I'll like schedule an appointment, you know, and just talk to him and see how things are going. But I say like one of the best things I do just like calm down the moment, man. Like I remember I went to church with my wife one day, and the pastor said, he was like, you gotta find a place where like just like it's your worship ceremony. So I'm not saying for me like that's my shower. I take a shower every day because I told you like I'm right now I'm in a transition. I'm working at FedEx, so I kind of get like I kind of get dirty. You gotta take a shower every day. So for me, like I decompress like in the shower, and I pray to God every day. I'm in the shower, and I just express how thankful I am, and I just you know if I have anything that's going on, you know I pray that He lead me the right way. So I would say like. No matter if that's like your couch that you wake up and sit and drink coffee in the morning.
It's like your tabernacle, man. Yeah, because back in the Old Testament, they would carry the tabernacle. So you can make your tabernacle your worship spot wherever you want to make it at. Because one thing about God, man, He's everywhere. So when you want to worship Him, you can worship Him anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing, man. Look, I thought you was getting ready to say, yeah, man, I be in the shower, man. I just started singing, man. I be blowing them tunes, man. I thought it was just getting ready to say.
He ain't like me.
I ain't like
Look, and that's what I started thinking. I know he do it, and I do too. I get in the shower, man. I'm thinking I'm what's his name, John Legend or something. You know what I'm saying?
We're near people like
the disco light, the whole 9 yards. Like, yeah, man. It's funny you say that, man. For some, you know, your bathroom can literally be your tabernacle. Especially for men, because we don't really get privacy.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's true.
So that's funny you mention that, man, because you know, I say this on there. I ain't embarrassed, man. But growing up, even now, to be honest, if I have to use the restroom, I tend to spend more time in the bathroom than I because it's like I gotta do what I gotta do, and then I gotta scroll on my phone for a little bit, then I gotta check some notifications. I might make a post. So at this point, I've been sitting there for 30 minutes.
Like an office. Like an office.
Yeah, I've been sitting there for 30 minutes, man. Everybody, they clutching at the bladder because they gotta go and all this stuff, man. So you gotta get a safe space, bro.
You gotta get a safe space.
Find your safe space, my brothers and sisters.
Yeah, right.
That could be your car, could be your shower.
Yeah, man.
No doubt, man. It has to be a way where you can unplug from the world. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, you know, black folks, man, we got our vices, if you will, but we never allow ourselves to unplug without using those vices to, you know what I'm saying, be a distraction mentally. If that makes sense. You know, you don't have to chase everything, man, with Jack. You know, you don't have to, you know what I'm saying, that type of thing, man. And we've all been through it, or we've all seen it in some shape, form, or fashion, man. I wanted to talk to you too, man, about as we get ready to wrap up here a little bit, your family background, man. We're a father-son podcast, man, so we always are intrigued about the relationship that the guests have with their dad, if you do have that, man. So could you share that with us, man? What was the relationship with your parents, man, and how did that thing go?
Yeah. So that's very interesting. And I know, like, obviously, I forgot that I was expecting this question, but it is true. So for me, man, I had recently, not recently, but I had, talked to my mom about it, and because it's something that's really interesting, because for me, my mom is dark complected and I'm light skinned. So my dad is dark skinned as well. So for me, I'm like, oh, okay. Now the reason why I said this is because So my dad is basically, he's my stepdad, but I call him my pops. Basically, my dad.
Yeah.
So basically, so when I was growing up, I was like really light skinned. Like I was white passing. I had dirty blonde hair. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't know if I'm white. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm, but I'm looking at everybody around me. Everybody's like chocolate. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I was like,
Chocolate.
I was like, hold on. So basically, I talked to my mom. Hopefully, I don't think she would kill me. So for me and, you know, me growing up, you know, like I said, being somebody who was a real light skin, like really fair skin, who had dirty blonde hair, and then seeing everybody around me who was like dark skin and chocolate,
Right.
I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
So I remember asking my mom, I was like, am I white? But you know, so for me, I realized that my mom would always tell me, she was like, no on it, like, cause you know, remember we had TCAP?
Yeah.
And on TCAP, you had to fill out what race you was. And I told my mom, I was like, what do I fill out? I was like, because I look not black, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
But I'm looking at my mom and I'm like, well, obviously you black.
Right.
So,
Right.
but she was like, she said, no matter what, I always fill out black. And I was like,
So.
and obviously I grew into it. I'm just a little bit like,
Yeah.
So but yeah, me and my mom, we've been through life together. So when I got of age, right, and like I said, my pops was always still there, and he's still in my life now. But so I got old enough and asked her, you know, I was like, well, why are both of y'all dark skinned and why am I light skinned? And she basically told me the story that back in, I guess, 94, 95, we just gonna estimate. So yeah, around that time, in 1995, I would guess Valentine's Day or January, who knows. My mom had ran into like an engineering like man at like a pizza shop, and you know, like he was an engineer, he was smart, and you know, she told me that, like, you know, like they became friends, and he was basically down here from North Carolina, is what you know, she was letting me know. And back then there was no Facebook in 1995. I want the Gen Zers to know that. You know, like, but yeah, there was no Facebook, no Instagram back then. So you know, they kicked it and whatever, and then you know, here come me.
There you go.
You know, just being honest. So you know, and then I think my stepdad, my pops, came in my life when I was 3 months old, according to my mom, and then he been there ever since. So, so for me, it's like he made, you know, like I said, like I'm always gonna call him my pops. I'm never gonna be like my stepdad. You know what I'm saying? So, so yeah, I guess, you know, I just want to let people know that, you know, like if you do have a stepfather, like it's not weird. They'll probably love you more than your biological father would.
Thank you.
On you know, some points. So.
Shout out to all the stepfathers, man. That are doing the thing, man. Shout out to them brothers, man. Seriously.
Yeah, we highlight co-parenting, man. We had a whole season.
Yes. Oh yeah, you had Robin on. Yeah.
Dedicated to it, man. You know, so you know what we mentioned, you know, and what we learned in that season, man, is that if everybody had the cards dealt how they would want, you know, it's not designed for you to be in a blended home. If that makes sense. I don't want to, you know, offend nobody.
Right.
It's not designed,
you
know,
nature,
for you to be in a blended home. But if you get to that situation, man, where that is the case, you know, you have people like your pops. You have people, man, that are willing to step in and step up, being the stepdad or the stepmom, man. So, yeah, definitely kudos, man, to your pops, man, and moms. And just shout out, man, to all the mothers and fathers, man, that are doing what they supposed to do.
Exactly.
That's true. We need more of that.
Yeah, man. But man, good episode, man. We getting ready to wrap up, man. And I hope, brother, we've done you a justice, man, by just having you on the show, man.
Yeah, even though you got that Michigan shirt on, man. Thank you for being here.
Hey, man. He bleeds big blue.
I know.
Hey, man, he a true fan, though. So I like that. He a true fan.
I know. Look, Georgia put the whoop on us a couple years ago in the playoffs. So, I ain't mad at it.
It's a respect.
It's a respect there. Look.
And you know what? And I ain't mad at it because one thing I can't say, we done got up a little bit, flew off a little bit. But I can't say that. Look. Look, that ADHD, y'all. But one thing I can say about Michigan, man, I was glad to see Harbaugh finally win one.
Yeah.
I was glad to see
yeah.
that. That dude done put in some years, man.
He did, man.
Yeah, and then when he was in the pros, San Francisco, they got there but didn't win it. But one thing I like about it, man, and this is what I hope he does, they say he might do it. I hope he do bring Kaepernick back in. Yeah, we gonna go into that podcast, but Kaepernick, I'm just gonna leave that right there. I hope he do bring Cap in, man. That's what they was talking about. He might bring Cap in for a coach or something. I'm like, that'd be cool, man.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
I would like that.
Yeah, man. Man, as we wrap up, man, D, thank you, man, for being on the show.
Man. Thank you, man.
We close our podcast, if you will, with this question, man. You know, with us being a mental health-based platform, man, there's somebody that has heard your story, D, but they still think about crashing out, man. You know, I've had my experience with suicidal ideations, if you will. Somebody, man, has heard your story, man, male or female, and they still thinking about giving up, man. They're on the edge of the bridge. You know, man, they really, really thinking about ending it. If you had 2 or 3 or 4 minutes with that young man or young woman, right here, right now, man, what would you tell him or her to naturally, man, deviate them away, man, from that ideology, those thoughts, man, and helping them to understand if I got through this and I got through that, then you can get through this and that too.
Man, so for me, I dealt with a lot of, for instance, y'all, like, I coached football for 6 years at Stratford. You know, now going through that, you send kids away, and there are some situations where some kids don't make it, you know, and you have to bury a former player. So I know there's a lot of young people and people who are our age too, who watch this. So if somebody is watching this who, like, you may have lost, you know, a friend. I've lost, I know yesterday was the year anniversary. I lost my friend Lamont, who was one of my best friends since 5th grade. My friend Matthew had passed away in December. And yeah, so it's been rough. So just know that, like, people like us, we're here for you and we've been there for you. And if you need, like, any assistance, I would say definitely, you know, I would say, like, look up to God, pray, because things are going to get dark in life. Like, no matter if you're going through financial hardships, you're going through career hardships. Like, I want to give myself as an example. Like, I had lost, I lost a couple jobs last year that was, like, out of my control. You know, I had a company that just, you know, so I was going through, like, a contracted service. And the company that they were with, they had a falling out. So it wasn't nothing I did. I did my job well. But at that point, like, I'm married, and I'm like, oh, well, now I ain't got no money coming in. So just for somebody who's going through hard stuff, just know that people like us, we're here for you, and that, you know, you're going to get through it. And I know it's easier to say, right? But also, too, like, doing the work, like, going to therapy, like, definitely go to therapy, because that could save your life greatly. Or hop on the Black Men Vent 2 podcast.
Come on, man.
That's real.
Come on, man.
That's real.
Yes, sir.
That's real,
Yes, sir.
Man, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it, man. Pops, what you got?
Yeah, no, I appreciate this brother, man. I appreciate his honesty, man. I appreciate him bringing up the fact that he's dealing with some stuff and he's looking for help. A lot of folks don't want to talk about that. That's why we try to do what we do, because we know that there are other black men and white men, whatever the case may be. There are other people out there that are dealing with mental health situations, but they just don't talk about it. So I'm thankful that you came to talk about your situation and your experience with mental health, and we got a chance to even talk about ours. We ain't been diagnosed, but we know something ain't right.
Something going on. We can figure that shit. Something going on up here, man.
See,
man, dude, thank you, bro, for being on the show. Your social media handles, man. Where can we find you? You know, if you have any entrepreneurial endeavors, man, side hustles, man, where can we connect with you?
Yeah, so for me, I would say you can connect with me at on Instagram. It's just Darius Horton. Do y'all mind if I bring that up on my phone?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's Darius M. Horton. My bad. Darius M. Horton. That's how you could like reach out. You know, I know I had like a couple of my former classmates reach out to me who like some of them like have been incarcerated. You know, and they just like, hey, I just want to, you know, reach out and see how you doing. So you can reach out to me there. I am if you are into funny Titans content, you can reach out to me on Twitter. If you just want to talk about Titans, you can reach out to me on Twitter. And that's just Darius Horton _. So I'm real active on there. And then some other things that I have been doing. So me and I don't know if Junebug, or Jonathan per se.
You good?
They know. They know. Okay. Yeah. But yeah. So around like 2016, me and one of my good friends, we had a sports channel on Facebook and YouTube, and we're actually looking to pick that back up.
Oh man,
So we actually so we're gonna do that. I think we're either gonna do like all audio or audio and video.
Okay.
That's we're still trying to figure it out, but you know, follow us for updates about that. So we're gonna do that, and then
man, make it happen, man. You got two people right now. We love to come on and talk about some sports.
Oh no doubt.
No doubt. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
We love sports talk, and then also on the side, like just something I do. I love fighting games, y'all. That's just me. I've been a big fighting game person since I was like 7 years old. I'm playing Mortal Kombat, knowing I probably shouldn't. But anyway, so on my TikTok, I post a lot of fighting game content. So I'm into like the game streaming space.
I was just about to say, are you on there, man, competing against other people around the world? You know, with the speakers and online stuff. Yeah,
I do it. Yeah, I do it online, but majority on TikTok. What I do, I just like stream my highlights.
Oh
yeah, the best part.
Steam you dog or somebody.
He grew up on them fighting games. That's why he beat that dude that threw that SpongeBob on his lane. He Sub-Zero.
Oh man, that was funny, man.
Let's wrap up, man. Dude, the Black Men Vent 2 podcast, man. Darius Horton, brothers. Thank you again, man.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate y'all for having me, man. If anybody
shout out to the wife too for allowing him to show up, man.
Yeah.
She could have said, "No, you can't go do no Black Men Vent 2."
Right. Our time is more important. Right.
No, I do. I really do. If I can, like, give a real big shout out to my wife because she supported me through everything.
Yeah, man.
When I was going through like losing my job and stuff like that, always was there for me. I do want to give the biggest and best shout out, big hugs, tiny kisses to my wife, man. Just let her know that you forever indebted to me, and I'm forever indebted to you. Whatever it is I can do, I love you, and I'll cook you a nice meal when I get home.
Ever since the day he saw that movie coming down the hall.
Moving down the highway, man.
Ever since
The black hair was.
Look what he said. I'm like,
we really in it. We really locked in. Man, this been good, man. This been good. Guys, let's get out of here, man. The Black Men Vent 2 podcast. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. You can do what you can, and you can't what you can't.
Nashville until next week is a wrap. Black man, don't get trapped.